Hey Canucks fans, welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary for Tuesday, September the 11th. I'm Clay Emo at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, and I'm a founding member of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. Yesterday, the Vancouver Canucks announced their roster for this upcoming training camp this weekend in Whistler. About 50 players named to that. A few guys coming from last weekend's prospects camp up to the main training camp. Guys that we're very interested in, obviously, Pettersson, Dahlin, Gaudette up front, and Oli Julevi on the back end. And I want to talk about the battles up front, and in particular, the battle at the center ice position today. We kind of know who's going to be on defense. We know there are 8 guys. If you include Julevi, it's 9 guys battling for those 6 or 7 spots. We know who our goalies are going to be. So really, it's the forwards, I think, is where the most excitement and the most intrigue is. We've talked at length at this video on this channel about 17 or 18 forwards that have NHL experience or could crack the NHL lineup. But obviously, Canucks got to whittle down to 12 starting forwards on opening night, October 3rd. And I want to talk about center ice. And I want to talk about the fact that Elias Pettersson could be actually the one that prohibits Adam Gaudette from getting a roster spot. When you look at the center ice position, we know that there's 8 or 9 guys invited to camp that can play center. Guys like Horvat, Pettersson, Sutter, and Beagle, which I just named the top 4 basically. Then you got guys like Gaudette and Gauntz, Gagne, Granlund, and Boucher have all played in the middle, Tyler Mott. So there's 9 or 10 guys that can play in the middle, but realistically, I think we are looking at Bo Horvat as number 1, Pettersson at number 2, Sutter at number 3, and Beagle at number 4. And that means Adam Gaudette as a center does not make the opening night lineup. Now what's interesting here is the Canucks aren't sold. We don't know if Pettersson's going to play on the wing or at center. I think ultimately the master plan down the road is to have Pettersson as our first line center, which makes sense. He's a high-end talent, an elite prospect, many people are calling him, and we saw kind of glimpses of that over the weekend. He could be our number 1 center. Horvat could then slide into a number 2 center role, which is probably what he's more suited for. And we know that Jay Beagle's here for another 4 seasons, including this one. So he'll be one of the 2 bottom centers, and then who knows about Brandon Sutter or however they fill it. Maybe that's Adam Gaudette in the future. But for this season, if you have Horvat, Sutter, and Beagle already, and you want to play Pettersson in the middle already, then that doesn't leave a space for Adam Gaudette. Of course, you put Pettersson on the wing maybe to start off, then you have to fill in that other center spot. Maybe does Sutter move up, does Beagle move up, and then does Gaudette become a 4th line center? And I find this fascinating because I remember being at last year's summer showcase where all the prospects kind of played just within themselves, only the Vancouver Canucks. And I was there at Rogers Arena. I remember very distinctly Adam Gaudette's compete level. And I remember there's one part where he didn't staple Pettersson, but he gave Pettersson a pretty good check, probably the biggest check of the night or the day. And that was behind the boards, and he put Pettersson into the boards. You know, it wasn't an unsafe hit, but it was a good hit, a good clean hit. And I remember Gaudette saying afterwards that, no, he's here to take someone's job. He's here to compete. He's here to show that he can be just as competitive or as valuable as Pettersson. Now, Adam Gaudette was drafted way back in 2015, the Brock Besser year. He was drafted in the 5th round, so obviously his pedigree, at least anticipation-wise, isn't the same as Elias Pettersson, who was in the 1st round, 5th overall, 2 years later in 2017. So, but it was really good to see. I know a lot of people in the media and a lot of bloggers were actually praising Gaudette for not being afraid to go at Pettersson in last year's summer showcase, because they obviously were competing, not necessarily for a roster spot back then, but obviously trying to make a good impression on Canucks coaching staff, management, and to a lesser extent, fans. So I think that's an interesting battle that we're going to look at, is the battle at center ice. And if they indeed start the season, the regular season, on October 3rd with Elias Pettersson in the middle, that very well could mean that Adam Gaudette does not get a roster spot. Once again, you put Pettersson on the wing, and intuitively, then that opens up more opportunities for a guy like Gaudette, who is arguably the best player at the Canucks prospect weekend. Gaudette, and then Pettersson and Dahlin. I've been saying obviously a lot, but maybe these things aren't obvious, or maybe it's obvious that I need to come up with new words. All right, that's it for today. Tomorrow I will not be doing a video, as I'll be volunteering at the annual Jake Milford charity tournament for the Vancouver Canucks. A great, great community initiative where they raise money for charities such as the Canucks for Kids and Canucks Autism Network. And this is the same tournament that 3 years ago my son Sean caddied for Bo Horvat. I've talked about that in previous videos here. And tomorrow my job, I understand, is I'm helping the Canucks players and other golfers move their bags to their golf carts, and then I'm sitting at one of the holes and I'm making sure, yeah, I'm a spotter for some of the hole-in-one contests, because there's cars and there's money, and for insurance purposes you obviously need someone to make sure that no one's cheating or lying about getting a hole-in-one on a par 3. So I might, you know, I'm not supposed to take any pictures, understandably, or ask Canucks players for autographs. I am allowed to talk to them. Maybe I'll invite 1 or 2 of them to be in one of my future Canucks music videos. We'll see. But hopefully I'll be able to send a couple tweets out, just checking in throughout the day. So follow my Twitter at CanuckClay, and maybe I'll be able to post a couple things tomorrow. But no big video tomorrow. Save it for Thursday with some impressions maybe of the golf tournament, of guys I met, and maybe another look at a different roster battle heading into training camp this weekend. Leave a comment below, Canucks fans. I'd love to read, reply, and react as always. Talk about, do you think Pettersson should start in the middle? Do you think he will start in the middle? If he does start in the middle, do you agree that then it's basically locked already? Horvat, Pettersson, Sutter, Beagle, or do you think another center will have an outside chance of cracking that top 4? Do you agree with me that with Pettersson going in the middle, that really shuts Gaudette out? Or do you think that Pettersson should start on the wing? And if so, who's the center that you want to see Pettersson play with? Obviously, that's got to be someone who's skilled, creative enough, who can get the puck to Pettersson and also find open ice, because Pettersson is not only a great skater and a good shooter, but he's a wonderful passer. Leave a comment below once again, and thanks for the interaction on this channel. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Give this video a like if you like what I'm doing. Most importantly, have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.